who was it? Vici Gaming was running a lot of Vengeful Spirit and shifting it between all three of those through their major
10
win.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, they did pretty good. Winning a minor and a major back-to-back.
5
That was an
seconds
impressive
remaining.
feat. But we've talked about that team, man. It's a team that they can always just come out and not even come out of nowhere, but just explode all of a sudden and do very well. But then they've also had some very disappointing results. But especially with their core players, Paparazzi and Ori, it always felt that team a team to look out for. So,
yep,
maybe not too surprised, but yeah, they did. Vengeful, though, you mentioned the pick, and speaking of the stats, going to refer to those quite a bit throughout this, I'm sure. Most picked hero right now in these qualifiers, and actually by a lot, 58 games. Pango's second with 46 games, so we're seeing a lot of Vengeful.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's way more than I would expect, even knowing that the hero is very highly valued in high-level pubs and in just the competitive scene in general. The save, obviously, is quite good against the Shaman and the Wyvern, and just the early pressure that Venge can put onto the other team because of the Vengeance aura and the Wave of Terror. When you combine that with something like Leshrac, who does a ton of physical damage, with the Edict, and I would assume we're going to see something here that can take Roche coming out from Team. Ursa's still in the pool, although the hero has received many nerfs at this point, so maybe being picked a little bit less.
Yeah, still up there, 13th overall right now in these qualifiers. So, yeah, you're right, getting some nerfs, but still seeing plenty of Lifestealers up there, kind of another similar hero that's under the same boat, and it's just some of these, they're that doesn't let them affect them too much.
Nice. Okay. This is another hero that's been Sven's kind of been around the world in the last 6 months. He was played, as a 5. He was played as a 4. Then he was played as a 3 a lot. He's back to the 1 role almost exclusively at this point with the changes to his both the cleave and the war cry. He definitely functions best as a position 1, just heavy damage dealer, pairing up quite nicely with Venge, and he is one of those heroes that can potentially counter a Spectre in the late game just because of his overwhelmingly high physical damage.
Into a Wyvern, though. Is that concerning?
Yeah. A little bit. It definitely is, and he's going to have a fairly mediocre lane. Sand King is reasonably good, just pressuring the wave in all the time. Sven will probably just kind of push it back out with his cleave. But yeah, I mean, once he gets BKB, he is going to be pretty fine. But the Wyvern, of course, is always a good counter to that and can just waste his duration. And then he gets kited pretty heavily.
Well, a couple of final bans into these final picks now. Medusa into a Templar Assassin. So now team. How are they going to finish? They could run Leshrac mid. They might just pick the mid hero here, though. It's... with Leshrac, I feel like Leshrac mid might not be the worst option right now. It seems like that magic damage would be pretty good for them, and
10 seconds
a hero that can be some nice tempo early on. But
ramping up the pressure early on too. It looks like that's probably what is going to happen as the Phoenix gets picked up. I would expect it to be a 3 Vengeful Spirit, with probably IX Mike on the Phoenix 5. It just gives them some more team fight. Kind of spreads their magic and physical damage is very heavy. They have all their bases covered on the side of team, other than maybe having the most reliable initiation. But I think we probably will see something like an Atos coming out from the Leshrac, and then they have that sort of non-committal initiation tool.
Yeah. Oh, compLexity thinking about Limp's hero here. Lena, one that maybe comes to mind. Decent egg killer. Nice mix. Oh wow, Pango actually even left open all the time. Again, he did get nerfs like a lot of these heroes have recently. With how big they've been in the very recent patch, but clearly not enough to deter compLexity, nor most teams. Like I said, he's actually the second most picked hero currently in these qualifiers. But it is going to be a Pango in the hands of Limp. His final pick. Strong finish, you think?
Yeah. I mean, this hero, he went from being broken to just good with the change that the nerfs that he's gotten recently. He's still a very good hero, and he's actually quite good against Sven, because the most important thing for Eternal Envy is going to be when he uses his BKB in these fights, because there's the Wyvern ult, which can cancel it out. He's going to need it to be able to fight through the Spectre with all the disable around it, and then once the BKB is over, he can just get disarmed and be pretty useless in these fights.
Yeah. He's a nice mix, too, between Disarm and Silence. Obviously, both Silence great against Leshrac, Disarm great against Sven. Now, again, with the tweak, you can only get one. You can't get both now. So there is that to keep in mind. The percentage did go down slightly from 20 to 17%. As I was looking at here. But with a Swashbuckle, you figure at least you're going to get one proc. With,
oh, wow. And it's going to be a core Phoenix, actually.
Oh, yeah, Brack's playing it. So Mike's on the Vengeful.
Yeah, I mean... That'll allow them to hit a very early magic damage power spike timing, and that really could be where they want to capitalize on things, because Spectre not really a hero that buys BKB until very late game, and none of the other heroes is a particular high priority BKB target. So Team could hit this kind of power spike where they just have overwhelming magic damage, and complexity's gonna have a hard time fighting into it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, here we go, loading into game number 1. First of 3 best of 3s that we have for you guys today. We'll know which of the 3 teams are advancing on and which team will be eliminated at the end of today. This is, again, a quick format in that sense, at least for the group stages. Group A that we are covering, Group B, the other 4 teams, and we'll talk more about that throughout the day. Plenty of time to reference it. But focusing on this one, mentioned it is going to be the core Phoenix in the hands of Brax this time around. One other stat. I don't want to overdo it with these stats. I want to pull in the Haas here, but I was noticing Radiant is actually 64% win percentage also throughout these qualifiers. That kind of stood out to me a little bit. Usually that's something you see around maybe like 55%, but 64%. That's a fairly significant win percentage for just simply being on the Radiant side in a game.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. Avicii Gaming picked Radiant every single time when they won. And I believe in the grand finals, it was Radiant that won every single game.
Well, good news for compLexity, as they're the team of the Radiant, of course. But
30 seconds to
team not going to let that deter them, as they sent 4 heroes to the Radiant jungle. Not going to find anyone. Miracle, he's sitting down here in the trees. Not going to give them any chance to get caught. So compLexity just waiting it out, seeing who's going to lane where, as the supports are flying around or walking around even. But no doubt they're going to give at least one support to the Spectre down here. As Ross is shaping up to be top lane in the hands of Z-Freak. He'll be up here with Death. And yeah, Sand King's actually another hero, by the way. This is a hero that's been dead for a while in competitive play. But being picked up here, and still not seen. He's only been seen 9 times throughout these qualifiers, so it's not like he's crazy resurging.
Yeah, it's definitely a hero that Death plays quite a bit. Oh, look at this bottom lane. Nusham going to block down the creeps so that the wave will be under the tower and push back towards the Phoenix. So going to manipulate the creep wave here by simply allowing his to die to the tower.
Smart. Merkel couldn't get some last hits with no Quelling Blade. It's pretty difficult, but managed to get the first one there. Keep an eye how many he's able to get. Trying to use a dagger for another. No, he misses that one. So only got one of them, but it is tough. Especially with the fire spirits being thrown out as well. And there you go, the lane being pulled back. Exactly what team was looking for. So good news for them. Going back to Spectre. So again, he has the break, which yes is concerning for for Nyx Assassin. He has a break against the Spectre that he has to worry about. Does he go Radiance though? Because that's another thing that when you're dealing with a Nyx, the burn, getting stunned is pretty easy.
Yeah, it definitely is. At the same time, I think it's probably for the best just to get it anyway because of how Spectre normally plays, where he kind of globally initiates the fight. It's not really like Nyx is going to be, finding him most of the time. Spectre tends to play very off the map. And so while the Spike Carapace is kind of annoying, it's not quite as annoying as it would be against some other Radiance carrier who's just kind of in the front line getting stunned up.
Okay, so probably still expect to see it on him.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate point. I know Merkel has history of that in general, too, the whole Manta Radiance. Kind of his go-to flavor that he likes on a lot of heroes. Naga Siren, Lifestealer, I know he was one of the first ones to start doing that, too, so. Likes the item. Limp versus Gunnar middle. 13-2 Pango versus an 8-0 Leshrac right now, so Limp having the advantage there so far. Nice
yeah, Limp is smashing right now.
Oh, bottom lane, 3-4-3's in trouble. The Icarus dive forward, and the Spectral Decker connects on a Phoenix, but he's too far away. Nusham getting credit for the kill on a Wyvern. And that will be our first blood. Going the way of Team here at the bottom lane.
And Brack's going to salve up and come back in. Miracle is taking a lot of damage.
Fire Spirit's in a couple seconds. Actually, if he gets those Fire Spirits up, that might be another kill. Yeah, there's one. There's the second. He's actually 2 tank. He has stick charges as well. He should be fine.
Fire Spirit's level 1. It's not that much damage.
So they just chase him, force out some regen at least, but ultimately Spectre going to survive. But safe to say the lane's going, I guess, decent for it. Spectre's farm is actually not bad, though. He's 11-2. He's up there with the others when it comes to CS right now.
Yeah, Envy having a little bit of a tough time in the top lane. Not farming that well. He's tied with the Spectre, being pressured pretty heavily, and Death Sand King is doing very well in terms of the farm department.
Yeah, Z-Freak battling with Mike off to the side for some CS in the jungle pull. Mike, he's going to get heavily harassed here. In fact, he might be in trouble. Shackles up. Burrow strike to follow, and wow. Warcry does nothing at that point.
Shadow Shaman is not a hero you really want to be trading with.
Yeah, he gets hard.
Way too high base damage.
81 right now, jeez. Yeah, those electric shocks doing work. So good job by compLexity. They tied up a 1 hero kill apiece. And CS overall, again, looking very good for the Radiant setting. Go back to Sven. You mentioned his start is not the greatest here, but you expect that to change, I assume, on Sven. Maybe get to the jungle sooner than later.
Yeah, I think once, depending on how this lane continues to progress, once Z-Freak and Death get a couple more levels, Sven's gonna probably look to get out of the lane because he's not really gonna be able to get very much farm without putting his life at risk. Venge is not the best defensive hero in the laning stage. Doesn't provide a whole lot.
Middle lane, Splinter Blast does not connect. However, Pango with the Arcane Rune has another Swashbuckle coming up soon. Gunnar trying to land the stun. Good juke from Limp, though, and there's the easy Swashbuckle to finish the job on a Leshrac. So great rune control, and Wyvern not even actually needed in the end. That was old Limp. Bottom lane, though, meanwhile, Miracle, he gets picked off between the Nyx Assassin and Phoenix. He obviously did not have a support, and they realized that as they saw Wyvern middle lane. So good play by Team to at least capitalize.
Yeah, great punish. This Nusham Brax lane is something that has been a highlight for Team since their inception, really. These two players seem to work very, very well together. And they're going to have to do a ton of lifting in this game.
Nusham, he's going to be thrown in the air. However, Pango's not the greatest angle right there with the Rolling Thunder. And Nusham, he'll just limp away. Aha. Gets
nice.
Away there.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, set that up perfect. But yeah, that was definitely an awkward angle for Pango. Unfortunately, didn't really have anything to bounce against to go back in. So good job at least getting away. But Limp's back to the middle lane. Not the most lost there. As far as missing out on the gank.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those games where both Leshrac and the Pango want to be tempo controlling heavily for their team. Gunnar not having the best start. I mean, he's doing okay in terms of farm, but it does kind of feel like Limp has been controlling the pace in the mid lane. So I am definitely looking towards Nusham, who has a pretty high level at 5 minutes into the game, 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
To do a lot of the early game initiation.
That's a good point. Yeah, Nyx Assassin is definitely one of these heroes that getting under-leveled is one of the reasons why we maybe don't see a lot of support Nyx Assassins, but as you pointed out, he is level 4 right now, so he's managing just fine in that sense.
Radiant
and he's actually going to be scanned out by compLexity, so Miracle is positioning himself appropriately. Again, he doesn't have Wyvern nearby currently, so he's forced to play pretty defensive. As we see right here. He does have a Diffuse Raindrop. Don't have information yet in terms of what he's going to be building just yet, but we'll keep an eye on that and see what he plans. Sven, on the other hand, we know what he's planning. He's going Echo Saber into Blink, it looks like.
Yeah, and he's maxing the cleave. He knows that this is going to be one of those games where he's going to have a fairly mediocre laning stage and look to catch up through doing Sven things, which is clearing creeps faster than basically any other carry in the game with that 90% cleave at level 4. What a ridiculous number to see.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd. And then he pops God Strength. It's It's scary, man. I mean, this hero, again, he is one of the hardest hitters in the game, no doubt. So, Shadow Shaman top lane. Gunnar's rotating. Cannot land the Split Earth, though. It's just out of range with the magic missile connecting first. And thus, Z-Freak will survive. So, good play from him, I suppose, just simply running away. Smoke middle lane, by the way. Limpy is going to head towards bottom with this. Look at Wyvern. He's chilling middle lane currently. Soaking experience, but they want to kill on Brax. However, oh, good job falling back in time. The Swashbuckle connects.
No silence.
But
here comes the dagger, though.
It is a kill. Wow. What level's that dagger? Level 3. He is maxing it. Okay.
Yep, and right there is one of the downsides of Nushim being so high level is that Brax has definitely been suffering a little bit in that department. So Nushim will hit level 6 very soon, but you can see that both heroes were level 4 while Miracle's level 6. So giving him a lot of space to get those levels up. But now Haunt is available. I think we're going to look to see possibly a rotation of the top lane here very shortly. Yeah, I was just going to comment on that, but good job from Mike rotating over to save the day and prevent a kill from happening on his Sven right there. So, as you mentioned, Haunt, he actually doesn't have mana for it currently, but Leshrek's even rotated over now, and this time Shadow Shaman, don't think he's getting out of it, but however, Limp shows up too. There's the Haunt activated, as well as a Rolling Thunder hitting all three heroes. Mike's to the side, the Illusion's chasing him down. Miracle doesn't have mana for his dagger, unfortunately, and he is dodging left and right. Death does go down to the left-hand side, however, they finally pick off Vengeful, but that was a lot used just to get a support Vengeful. And really not worth it for complexity, it feels. Yeah, that fight got awkward really quickly. they didn't really focus the same heroes. Death went in after the Sven, but completely underestimating just how much damage the Slash Track does at this point in the game. Level 4 in Edict, Pulse Nova as well. He took like 700 damage in 2 seconds.
Well, Phoenix doesn't mind. He's farming up the bottom lane meanwhile, as he's got an urn to work with so far. So probably going to see similar to what we would see in a support Phoenix as well. Death, meanwhile, gets a Vanguard. And yeah, now that you mention this, I do remember him playing it quite a bit, especially with the Sand King change first off the bat. And yeah, this is the build he liked to go, huh? Just really tanking up. Hood of Defiance queued up, and then a Blink after that. So likes to be a frontliner on the Sand King.
Yeah, that was when the Sandstorm damage was just absurd. It was like, what, 50 damage at level 2 or something like that. Yeah. You could just kind of run people down and just sit in this cloud with your like 2,000 HP at 10 minutes.
Well, you don't even have to sit. You can walk around even. Phoenix going for the bounty rune. He is dead. He got caught going for it. Might come to Casso. Nope. Impale misses. Good job with the Swashbuckle to make sure. And so Pango survives out of it. Gets his Arcane Boots delivered as well. He also has the casual Javelin that we'll see on Pangos. Nice additional damage to work with. Comes back to the middle lane now. So Limp, he's up there top farm. Just got passed by Sven currently. Him and Sven are actually battling back and forth. But yeah, that's the good news for complexity. However, Sven is getting farm on the other side of it. And right now he's bottom lane against Spectre. Interesting.
Yeah, made the rotation out of the top lane. Maybe looking to put a little bit of pressure on, but the lanes have kind of reset and reshuffled. Nushim is level 6 in the mid lane. We'll be looking to use Vendetta potentially to set up for something. But yeah, Limp is having a very good game so far.
Yeah, you mentioned he has Vendetta active. Gonna try to make a play on Pango if he goes too far, but not the case. He'll just simply open on the creep wave and push it out, get some experience, because why not? And Limp
just wants to get that UPM talent.
Yeah, you talked about that level 10 talent, yeah.
NV.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to see it at the last second right there, but they missed. No proc with the lucky shot. However, they still catch him. He was still tempting fate right there, and they do go back in a catch with the ward trap, and now an easy tower push on top of that. Ugh. That's one of those where he made a great job reacting initially, but why were you sticking around so much?
Yeah, that's one of those, you know, new team communication breakdown moments, I feel like.
Gunnar, middle lane, he's dead too. They just collapse on him. complexity doing a great job of moving as a team right now. That's clearly playing a role against Team in terms of this 3,000 net worth lead that they have all of a sudden on the side of complexity. Gonna save Spectre, at least heal him up. There's a swap, but I mean, the Spectre's already pretty tanky. In fact, you look what he went. He went an Urn to go with those phase boosts. They go back in, sinking with the Burrow Strike stun. Gets going Vengeful.
No,
Phoenix taking the back line, though. And Death might be in trouble. Nice job with the Curse, however, and Death is going to be able to walk it off for the time being. Burrow Strike, no, he got stunned as he was going for it at the last second, but the burn from the Sunray is just enough damage. I mean, you see how tanky he is, but finally they finish him off with the Sunray. So at least Team gets that kill out of it, but overall complexity forcing a lot of distraction there.
Yeah, and this Leshrac is definitely struggling. This is not where you want to be. Level 10, while Z-Freak Shadow Shaman level 8, he's farming very well, and Gunnar needs to be the one that's really putting pressure on the map.
He is level 10, mentioned in Rod of Atos. It's almost there. Obviously an item that will help quite a bit for not only him, but just in general as a team. Aether Lens, though, finished on Shadow Shaman. That's, again, a big item on him. The range of his shackles as well as a Hex that much stronger now. Sven almost has the Echo Saber finished. Just needs to pick up the Quarterstaff, and then he'll be good to go there. Do we have an answer on Spectre yet? Yeah, going back to Spectre, again, the Urn build, and now he's going drums on top of this. So this is a very early aggressive Spectre build that we're seeing.
Yeah, they. I wonder if he was going into the game planning to do this, or whether it's just adapting to the pace of the game. Because complexity definitely has the ability to really break this game wide open with a couple key fights. So it feels like Team is playing a much slower paced game at the moment.
It is one of those cases you look at that, and again, the idea that he's going to be able to assist much earlier on and be more of a force early is great, but his scaling will not be as scary due to that. So that's one of those, if you're team, keep farming on Sven maybe. Try not to die around the Sven and let him get the farm. He's going with the Echo Saber now finished, or going to be delivered, I should say. He's definitely got some nice enhanced farm himself to work with, and start seeing that skyrocket ideally.
Yeah, Envy feeling the pace of the game. He's switched it up from Blink to BKB, knowing that he needs to get involved earlier, since Gunnar is having kind of a rough one as far as being able to, be that central focus in these team fights. Definitely not tanky enough to do that at the moment.
Rotating towards the bottom lane with a smoke, but Wyvern, he picked up on that. Something must have spotted part of that rotation. You see the defensive wards that they have. So he just TP's out, and the smoke is going to result in not much. They do get the bounty rings at least down there. But
nobody defending this tier 2 top is a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Complexity migrating their way to the other side of the map.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They're going to push the tier 1 bottom. They scan over here just in case, but as we see as a spectator, that good old God vision, nobody's there from complexity. In fact, 3 heroes are wrapping around mid lane. They want to. You see the lines being drawn there from Z-Freak. They want to control this middle area. They want to take the mid tower, and the roster wards are put down. So they're going just for that. They see the bottom tier 1 being pushed. However, team is not going to give this up free. Sven's already
these wards are actually dying to the tower right now.
Oh, they're taking some damage, being a distraction. Death, he goes in, buys his time now. Leshrac, next up with the war cry, saving it for the time being. The stun on a Sand King. No ultimate just yet from the Phoenix Sage. Can they kill it in time? Nope, the Impale stun comes out. That Phoenix Sage definitely going off. Miracle has to run. They're going to get the kill on Death, but Miracle can't run. The explosion from the Supernova goes off, and that's going to be a dead Spectre, no doubt. Double kill for Brax, actually. So Complexity does get the tower kill, but oh, Pango. Okay, well, he'll clean up at least on Vengeful. Get a double kill himself in the end. Well, considering he got a double kill, including on Leshrac, I suppose it wasn't horrible for Complexity, really.
No, but Nusham completely saved that fight for Team with that really big Spike Carapace into Impale on like 3-4 heroes, saving Brax's egg. That could have been a massive disaster if he didn't hit those skills.
Yeah. He did, though, and thus the kills that happened for Team able to take place, but big picture, Complexity still not disappointed by it. Wyvern, there's rotations here. They see them coming over, both the Phoenix and Nyx Assassin. They're going to open on Rasta thinking they have a free kill, but that's not the case. The curse hits. They might kill Rasta at least. The burn, yes, it is enough damage, but now Nyx Assassin is also in trouble, and which really means he's dead. So double kill for Spectre. Definitely not the exchange you're hoping for if you're Team.
fully undervisioned that rotation was never going to be successful, but
Radiant's middle tower
some more
is
space
under
for Envy.
attack.
He's well on his way to the
Radiant's middle
BKB.
tower
Gonna farm
has
up this
fallen.
ancient stack here, potentially.
Thinking about it.
Dire's top tower
Oh, no,
is
they're-
under attack.
I think there's wards here, I suppose. There is a ward to the left, so I don't know if they're trying to find that ward. Yeah, he does have a sentry that he placed here.
Just out of range.
So they're going to skip it for now, and maybe they figure that they still have vision, so they don't want to go for it just yet. You know, they're stacking or so, and then let him take it out. But yeah, you talked about the BKB that's coming for Sven. And he ideally wants that finished before more fighting takes place on the side of Team. But that's where compLexity, they've been doing a great job again. The tempo of the game, they've been pushing the issue. You have a mech now finished on Pango. He's going to have full Guardian Greaves. Pretty good timing here. We're going to basically see a 20-minute Guardian Greaves Maelstrom on Pango.
Yeah, Limp is extremely farmed. He is having a lot of impact in these fights, and until Sven has the BKB, he completely shuts him down.
Sven does get the Ancients, though. And sure enough, we'll cut them down. So, once again, jumps ahead of the net worth for the time being against Pango. Gunnar middle lane, though. He's in trouble once again. There's a swap save. Not so much of a save, though. In fact, it's also going to be death on Vengeful. And Phoenix caught by the Rolling Thunder in the backline. So Icarus dive, though, in time. And the shield smash, but the Pango gets over the edge with a swashbuckle, runs into an impale. Eternal Envy, though, he's not in the best case to fight himself right now, so he's going to keep running, too.
Brack's still in trouble.
Swashbuckle, yes. Is it a blind?
No, there's the dagger vision.
Oh, okay, the dagger did see him.
Under attack.
So good catch there from Limp, and results in 3 kills, and the ward's already down from Rasta.
Yeah, Gunnar is just getting caught out too much right now. He's not very tanky, he has no save mechanic. Went for this Atos first to be aggressive, but he is just getting gone on every single time. And they need his damage if they're going to start winning these fights.
Envy's just pushing out bottom lane. Again, the BKB's almost there for him. We really hit. I don't even know if he's popped God Strength once in this game. Hasn't really been in a fight for that to be the case.
Yeah, he's used it to farm a handful of times.
Yeah. But as far as actual combat goes, not really the case.
BKB is finished. He has the blink queued up again afterwards.
Now you see Death. Death is maybe in some trouble. He does have the blink, though, and so never mind. No, push the lane, blink out, and just TP to the top now, so good rotation from him. And Radiant, okay, the 20-minute bounty rinse coming up and everything, so they're going to take that, but I was wondering if we're going to see compLexity try to position around Roshan soon. Their team is not the greatest at killing Roshan, though.
They'll have to expend wards to do so, not until Z-Freak has those off a cooldown. Blink Dagger is on the Shadow Shaman now, so further initiation potential for compLexity.
What need have I?
Gunnar needs to be very careful now. He's
quite nice,
he's definitely going to be target number 1. Him and the Phoenix probably, so has to play a lot more around his team.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this has been a brutal game for Leshrac. No way around. He's 0-4-2 as your mid Leshrac. Definitely not what you're hoping for. You're in game number 1, but doing his best to recover, and really does keep looking back at Sven. And again, we really haven't seen Team brawl yet. He wants to be able to blink first now too. So, but Team is they're the ones that are constantly on the back foot, and that is a nice thing about a hero like Spectre, to be fair, where if a fight does break out, you know, as long as he's got Haunt ready, he can join it. So he's able to farm elsewhere pretty freely, knowing that he can join the fight in an instant.
Yep. And not only that, he gives you that perfect vision so that you can find your targets. You can find the Leshrac, you can find the Phoenix.
Radiant are scanning.
Get good initiations every time with this Sand King. Although Sand King is being scouted by Newsham right now.
They did scan rotations coming over, but there's the opening. Sand King, we know how tanky he is, though. Sandstorm coming out. There's the dust, but it's just too much. And now the response, Rolling Thunder. Vengeful Spirit's just going to get collapsed on. He's definitely dead. Godstring pop. Z-Freak, though, the nice job of the curse coming out on his Sven. Z-Freak trying to live. The burn is enough from the Sunray, but this is a split fight. There's 2 different fights really going on, because over here to the right, Leshrac ends up going down. Supernova applied, but now Miracle just runs the other way. The Stormhammer hits, but I believe they're out of range of the Supernova. They definitely are. Out comes the Cold Embrace, but the Cleaves from Eternal Levy doing plenty of damage. The Aaron's going to take down the Wyvern, but now Sven, can he man up against Sand King? Absolutely. Buyback from Leshrac, as you mentioned, and the Rod of Atos connects on a Pango now. So Pango swashbuckle in 2 more seconds. He needs to get out of here, though. Guardian Greaves still a bit of a cooldown itself. Can he swashbuckle out? No, and I couldn't even get the stick charges off. And he does fall. And Miracle's also still here. The break is up for the Vendetta, and that's an easy kill on Spectre. All of a sudden, Team just completely wipes out compLexity. Very worth buyback from the Leshrac, and they just simply outlasted.
Yeah, that buyback was huge. Very good call by Team to get the Leshrac back in the fight. You know, sometimes when you're very squishy and you're going down a lot, you just got to use the buyback to make up for that. And Gunnar really saved that for his team. Envy he's on pace to be very scary now. Has the Blink Dagger complete if he wants to pick it up here in the side shop.
Now we saw even just simply with an Echo Saber and BKB, like how if they get somewhat clumped up, especially, then that cleave will do plenty of damage to them. So, yeah, and this is where I look back at the Spectre build now specifically, and how he went the urn, he went the drums, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just this is not as the scaling build as we're sometimes used to seeing on a Spectre, and yet maybe the Nyx Assassin did deter that, to be fair, aka the Radiance.
Yep.
But this is, I feel like Team with that fight right there, they got to be feeling much better about this game now and ultimately their chances.
Yeah, compLexity has some serious damage issues. This Sven is going to be nigh unkillable. Anytime he pops the BKB, he can just kind of run in, and we saw it right there. You know, just a couple cleave hits, and compLexity is melting.
Yeah. Spectre, he's going to take out this Ancient stack, but doesn't really have the greatest AoE, of course, so it's happening over time. But eventually, going to take it out with the main style finish, working on his own BKB now, but you have a Team moving. They're going to run right past the haste rune. Okay, they will go back.
Envy doesn't have a TP at the moment, so Team needs to be a little careful with their positioning. Gunnar going for Guardian Greaves next. Just trying to tank up and help his team out with the auras.
Yeah.
It's sort of what he's been relegated to at this point.
Also a great purge for that silence.
Yep.
If it hits, so yeah, why not? On the Leshrac here. Bloodstone did get that buff, right? So that's something that would be interesting to see on him. If maybe the farm was different, though, this game.
Yeah, it's more of a snowball-y item, and he's definitely not snowballing in the right direction.
No. No, the last fight definitely changing a little bit, but yeah, it's still been a pretty rough game for him. Sven's almost level 20 as well, and we'll see what he gets. I assume the lifesteal, especially this game, he doesn't have the Mask of Madness, so getting that life so might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, it's always good against Spectre to have some lifesteal. I mean, the Stormhammer cooldown talent is super good.
Top tower is under attack.
Just because of the utility it gives you, but with Envy going directly for a Daedalus next, lifesteal, pretty good on this hero.
Man, what would you think about, at this point, probably not, but Spectre, instead going like a Blade Mail this game, dealing with that cleave of Sven.
Radiant's top tower
I don't really think that's his main concern.
Oh, Eternal Enemy's by himself, by the way.
Completely by himself.
The Nyx Assassin's coming over, but now it's taking a while to kill him. Warcry's going to be popped, so he's alive for now. Witch's Curse, though, comes out. The Warcry's helping to keep him alive, but it's going to hold him in place. Miracle's here now as well to swap out, but not going to be enough. Miracle.
This is bad.
Going to chase now further. Yeah, Eternal Envy already dead. He has a buyback, definitely not using the way too far away. Ike's Mike healing up, exploding. It's absolutely horrendous for Team. And Nyx Assassin, thank God he gets out at least. But yeah, I mean, Sven got way too greedy right there. His team was kind of to the right of him, but clearly not close enough.
Yeah, and he didn't have a TP off of cooldown, so there was no ability for him to just kind of BKB and TP out. Again, Winter's Curse would have stopped that anyway, but again, maybe just going back to like slight communication, kind of play style issues. This team did just come together about a week ago.
Yeah.
I bind you.
It did. And Deathy's going to catch the Phoenix, and it was simply trying to scout. They know that they're doing Roshan. Unless they commit a Sven buyback, though, I don't think they can actually defend this. So, yeah, they just harass a little bit, but that'll be that. And this is our first Roshan, right? Yeah, just the Aegis. Going in the hands of Spectre, though. He'll gladly take that. There is a double damager in bottom. We spotted soon, perhaps. compLexity now 7,000 net worth lead. That is their biggest lead of the game so far. As they jump back up after that bit of a dive that we saw there. I was looking good for Team.
Tower is under attack.
A bottle handed over to Eternal Envy, so now he has double damage. And they're going to smoke up. They know that Haunt is down. And Envy's just running in.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a curse. That's
a dead Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, that's why Curse is pretty good against Sven. Because he'll beat down his own teammate, and Spectre's chasing. Rod of Atos connects. The backline's so vengeful. Caught, shackled up, he's in trouble, he's definitely going to die. However, Eternal Envy running in, that cleave, the God Strength, BKB.
That's very tanky, though.
And Wyvern goes down. He is running pretty far, but the BKB's going to be wearing off soon. Miracle, though, can he get away from it? He's chasing after the Leshrac. Leshrac's doing plenty of AoE damage. Remember, they do have an Aegis, though, on Spectre, so maybe not the worst case. The BKB is wearing off now from Envy, and Sven now in trouble. He is caught with a ward trap, however. He's manning up still as he has to. He gets a kill on Sand King. Buyback from Wyvern, by the way, trying to come back in. Miracle's still alive also throughout this with that Aegis ready to go. And he just ends up cleaning up around, so Leshrac with a dieback in the end. And Sven is kind of trapped for now. He's going to have to blink again eventually. He's in a really awkward spot here. Oh, no. If Wyvern popped his Q, oh, no. Oh. They just barely did not see him. So lucky.
Never a dull moment with Envy. Oh, and he walks directly into a Hex.
Yep. However, swap play. There's the Haunt, though. Rasta is going to be picked up, and now Nusham, he's in a bad spot. Splinter Blast coming out, an easy kill on him.
Buyback. No buyback in Leshrac either.
And Lips going further, blinking in with that Rolling Thunder. They're going to connect on Vengeful. He's definitely dead. Can they catch Sven as well? That would be huge. They're going to kill Vengeful. Sven popping a BKB for this to prevent any sort of chance from happening. compLexity not afraid to dive really far into the base, though, and apparently they shouldn't be.
No, Team gonna just have to sacrifice this set of racks. They're not out of it yet, but they need to really kind of tighten things up. She's getting picked apart right now by compLexity.
I can't believe he still has the Aegis on Spectre. I thought for sure it was going to die in that last fight and then just come back with it, or without it, but he managed to actually stay alive throughout all of that. And now he's back to full life and essentially full mana. So they don't get the tier 3 tower in the end, but plenty of damage done from compLexity.
Yeah, Team trying to take advantage of that double damage, expecting Envy to be able to burst somebody, but I mean, this compLexity team is very tanky. He went on death, even with a couple of crits, didn't bring him down below half health, and other than Sven, Team is pretty lacking in terms of damage in the burst variety.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, obviously Sven good for that, but we talked about the Wyvern specifically. We've already seen several times where that's been high impact. Death, by the way, he stuns as he gets stunned. Stuns out, I should say, and pull back over the swap, but there's that curse. It is a really awkward fight. Finally, BKB, the God Strength, but they can't hit Death. He's just in the midst of that lift, going around with the Rolling Thunder, the lift up on a Leshrac, trying to stay alive. Now, Wyvern's going to be picked up back here, but Sven, he's being kited this whole time. BKB has worn off. The Supernova goes off, does stun too. Death in trouble because of it, and he does go down now. Pango's also getting burned down by the Sun Rain. A couple of cleave auto attacks from Sven. Now the Stormhammer triple kill for Eternal Envy. So it was a little bit awkward of positioning initially, but boy, does it work out for Team so far. Merkel, look at the juke. He's trying to juke them, but they don't fall for it. They go for the real one. He is going to be Yulesed on up, and he is definitely dead right here. Look at the exactly the bottom lane. Remember, that is an Aegis, so he gets a tower, and he is going to TP over here. He wants to maybe try to help his teammate. He's going to be too far, though. Spectre kiting away with the dagger, but it's not easy. Yulesed up, and he is definitely dead again. So they actually get the kill on him. Sven cleaning up for sure. You look at the racks, range racks. Okay, the range racks at least will go down bottom lane. This is, I guess we shouldn't have expected anything different for a couple of reasons in this game, but this is quite the swinging game here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this Sven is, I mean, he's the manliest hero in Dota for a reason. He just runs in, two-shots everybody on compLexity when he gets a hold of them. Did a good job targeting the Wyvern there. And we continue to see the damage issues for compLexity. They have no tools to deal with this Sven, and they're not going to have any until that BKB is at 5 seconds, which it will be very soon. But I think once that happens, they desperately need Z-Freak to be in these fights.
They're going to try here, try to catch him off guard. The curse on a Nyx Assassin. They're going to let Sven do their bidding.
The rest of TV.
Yeah, where are they? They are taking a while to get here. Finally, we got some people coming to the right side here, but Sven, oh, the swap at the last second from Mike. They want to kill Sven still. The Sunray heals coming out. And is he going back in? Really? He's got a blink. He's getting the heals. He pops God Strength, but he decides better of it. So he definitely wanted to, but some kind of communication coming out that clearly they wanted to fall back instead. But they may need a fight now as the Haunt does come out. Miracle cutting off IX Mike. At least they kill Vengeful. Brax, don't think they have a stopper for him. So he TP's away, but Leshrac, however, is going to be stopped. And he is dead. So they do get 3 kills out of it and let the theme continue this game of the swing, swing, swing. Back and forth. I mean, it continues to be the same story, though, of the damage. Can they actually kill Sven? But I guess the times they've been able to, and almost nearly right there, is when he's by himself, or maybe just one other nearby.
Yeah, I mean, he was completely alone there, aside from the Nyx Assassin, and they still were not able to kill him. There's definitely a lot of good saves. The percentage-based healing from Sunray, super good with Sven. But yeah, team, they need to be a little bit more careful with their positioning, it feels like. They certainly have the ability to win these team fights and win this game.
Nyx Assassin. Ooh, lucky for him there was no sentry around. He was definitely aggressive there scouting. But he is going to walk it off. He'll be fine. They're trying to kill a shrine in the meantime.
Dire's top
complexity
shrine is under attack.
Tier 2 tower's even still up too. Considering how much pressure they were putting on it earlier on in this game, it's almost surprising. But I believe they're going to kill it here. After they kill the shrine at least. And yeah, look at Spectre. I mentioned the BKB that he has now, of course, but even going to go Diffusal at this point, so he's not necessarily getting those the really threatening late game items. It's just a very, I would call it maybe a mid game build that we're seeing out of Spectre.
Yeah, he's looking for ways to, I don't know. I kind of would love to see him just go for something like a butterfly, really start scaling to potentially compete with the Sven. Speaking of butterflies, Envy has a butterfly queued up. I love this build. I think this is an excellent item to buy on Sven. He needs the armor, he needs the attack speed. Doesn't need the damage, so butterfly just gives him everything he wants.
Agility item on a strength hero. Lol. That's my initial response. But yeah, you're right. That is pretty good on that hero in this game. As they're going to smoke up. Phoenix, he's the only one not hit by the smoke, but he's joining.
Deadly swift.
I don't know if they're checking Roshan or what, but Roshan could have been up by now. It's going to be a longer Roshan respawn, though.
Dire's top tower.
Adam picked up a Lotus Orb.
Oh my gosh.
See ya.
Yeah, Wyvern just got 3-shot right there.
Double damage rune on Eternal Envy. If Roche respawns,
Radiant are scanning.
that is a nice opportunity for them, but Envy. Oh, he found Z-Freak.
Yeah, well, if he can stun him, though. Z-Freak, he ran a split earth. No, he's not going to hit. All right, so they both get out there. That was a little scary for complexity, but they managed to make it out of there. Yeah, you mentioned the Lotus Orb, though, on Wyvern as it just gets cut down there. But high priority Lotus Orb.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised not to see a Blink be prioritized more. I feel like against the Sven, you just want to make sure that you can utilize that curse to perfection.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of targeted abilities. I guess maybe... Yeah, I'm not totally sure why the Lotus Orb. I mean, the armor is good for sure, but...
Oh, a couple of the stuns, Magic Missile as well, Stormhammer, both are projectile stuns that take a little bit of time, so you could react to it, I suppose. But still... I don't think there's really any games where Lotus Orb is ever going to be a bad item. It's just...
No, definitely not.
Yeah, rushing at high priority, that is the debatable part here for sure.
Diffusal going to work on IX Mike, and Roche seconds away from respawning here.
They get a buyback at least, but just on the support. Yeah, they check it, and yeah, they're going to fall back before he actually respawns, so... The Dire scans it. They see that it's not actually happening, thanks to it not being up, at the time at least.
Butterfly is complete on Envy. That means no buyback, but is he really going to be able to die is the question.
From what we've seen before, again, unless he's somehow by himself, which I'll leave it at that. But if he's got his team around him, there's really no way.
Unless Eternal Envy, the carry player Eternal Envy, is somehow in a very strange place.
Yeah, you said it, not me. It's happened once or twice before. Yes, middle lane. There's some engagement. Z-Freak going in. They want Phoenix. Swap plays coming out. Oh, there's a Lotus Orb coming into play, though. Supernova, it is going to go off, but Complexity will just simply run away and survive themselves. So nobody dead just yet, but the curse. Leshrac, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble as the Epicenter goes up the backlines as well. Good 4-man stun coming out from Sand King. Leshrac still alive somehow, but finally going to be picked off. Eternal Envy, he's coming back, though. Pango getting beat down for the time being. Yeah, that's not doing a lot of damage because the Cold Embrace pretty good. With the Wyvern once again, the lockdown on Sven is real. His BKB's worn off. He's in a lot of trouble. He's trapped in the wards right here, and the supporting cast is being picked off around him, it looks like. Leshrac did buy back, though, and he lands a splitter stun. Eternal Envy going for the couple of cleave auto attacks, but again, another shackles from Z-Freak, and down goes Sven. He's out for 100 seconds. No buyback currently. Leshrac, is he in trouble too? Shield slam on top of his face. Limp's in trouble? No, the tick down for the Edicts. The splitter is not going to hit, though. Brax with the Sun Ray, not only healing, but doing damage. Gets a Code Rasta. Spectre with a Lotus Orb still in the front lines, so Dispersion's kicking in too. And Leshrac finally goes down, just tanky targets across the board. But Miracle, the tankiest of them all, apparently, although maybe not so much. He gets the kill there. Okay, the Cold Embrace is going to make sure he stays alive. And Team, they're going to get completely cleaned up in the end. Nusham surviving barely, so maybe not a full cleanup. Unless Pango, yes, he catches him. No buybacks other than the Nyx Assassin. Complexity has a huge chance now to potentially even finish the game.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it. Envy was not with his team there, and they got initiated on, and no buyback because he just bought that butterfly. So
I don't think that
from bad to worse.
I think that was credit to Complexity and that the control they did on Sven and then killing targets around him. Because with the Ward Trap, specifically Z-Freak, between a couple of shackles, hexing Ward Trap, he took Sven out of that fight, it felt like.
Yeah, completely. And Envy was focusing the Pangolier too. I think he was focusing him when he like 90% damage reduction or something up, because it wasn't just the Cold Embrace. He was hitting him for a while when Cold Embrace was not on Limp, and he was taking like no damage either.
Yeah, with the shield crash, you got to be careful focusing on that Pango sometimes, and that was definitely a case there. As you said, he managed to survive quite a bit. Roshan is up, of course, and Complexity not only cleans up both the bottom and the middle racks, they're going to get a tier 2 Roshan out of this as well. Unless Team's coming, but I don't think they're going to get here fast enough.
Amazing.
It's such a slow Rosh.
Yeah, it is a slow Rosh, you're right. Double damage spawns right here. Oh, Sven, he's going in. Z-Freak picks it up, though. Curse on his Sven, and they just need to run. That was close.
I'll take your tribute.
But once again, this curse. Did they catch Pango?
Oh, Gunner.
Missed.
Misses the stun.
See ya.
That would have been the gem.
Whoa.
Envy. Hello.
That was a misclick. I think he meant to blink, and he accidentally hit his BKB as well. That's unfortunate. I don't know if that was his 6-second BKB or not, but he's at 5 either way.
He's been at 5 for a while. That was half the issue in that last fight where you said Z-Freak. Just doing work, man. Hex, the shackle, the hex, the shackle, the ward trap. It's a Sven's nightmare right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you see Shadow Shaman. He's actually... Ags is almost finished on him now, too. So those wards there, level 3 wards. That much more potent to spread damage. Sven, he's trying to go a Moon Shard. Just get that attack speed in here now. And hope for some big dataless procs for the chance he does get to hit people.
Yeah. If he's ever able to actually hit people.
Look at Brax, by the way. We didn't really talk about this yet, but the Radiance finished on Phoenix and also just got a pipe.
Yeah, I did see that. He didn't go for the spell amp, went for the tanky talents, so just needing the extra bit of damage from the Radiance. It's pretty good against the Spectre. It's good at canceling the blinks. That's the most important thing. Yeah. You can stop Death from being able to blink in with a big epi.
And it pretty much, I don't think they've killed the egg once this game. outside of complexity.
Very good egg placement by Brax and protecting of it by Team for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they really don't have the greatest tools to kill the eggs as well, but it is a nice mix, definitely. It's working for them. Eternal Limit got another double damage. Jesus, I feel like he's had so many this game. That's one bottled up.
Really good rune control and some luck. But man, Gunnar, if he just had this BKB, they'd feel so much better. Miracle Invis.
They don't see him. They don't have vision. He goes on a gun on the back line. Sven, he's trying to jump. The Wyvern's caught initially, but the Lotus Sword coming into play, reflecting the stun. Gunnar, he's at half life currently. Meteor Hammer, Winter Wyvern. He is going to die before he can do a damn thing. Now Spectre is being cleaved down. However, there's the Hex. Siegfried coming in with the War Trap as well. The Haunt activated Miracle, cleaving them down himself with the illusions and everything else. In comes the Epicenter from Sand King, but they're too tanky. The War Cry is helping to keep alive. Phoenix stayed alive at the time. Spec goes down, though, and Phoenix did as well. He buys back immediately, but now Sven, the kite is real. Once again, the shackle locked in. It seems like a century on him. He buys back immediately, as does the Nyx Assassin, but Phoenix caught again. This is going to be a dieback on Phoenix more than likely. Nushan porting in, but not much more he can do. Miracle unstoppable on the Spectre. Sven, he has to blink back to the base, as Nyx Assassin is also going to suffer a dieback here likely. Himself, the Hex. Oh, Sven. Siegfried choosing not to go in for the shackles. He has shackles. Yep, he's going to shackle him. No, but he got Stormhammer off. Sven, okay, well, I think this is just the give-up time. Kind of walking in right there. But yeah, GG is going to be called, and complexity will take game number 1. What a swinging game, and who knows what's going to happen in game 2 especially, but complexity happy to be on top.
Definitely excited for game 2. I was very back and forth. Yeah, you got to go back to that Leshrac. He just didn't have a game, so it was almost 4v5 for the entire time. And Z-Freak did a masterful job making Sven's life miserable once that BKB got down to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was a great performance from him. Again, lockdown onto Sven specifically, and that'll continue to be the big factor of a core Sven. And I do agree with you. We're talking about in the draft that it seems like the core Sven just feels better than these support Svens that we've been seeing for a while, but he does suffer from that kite syndrome. And you have heroes like a Rasta that can definitely do that very effectively. And I do think Wyvern was ultimately the biggest issue for him too. There's so many good curses in this game, and then Cold Embrace is constantly making him change targets. So it was a rough game there for him too. But complexity, again, a back and forth game. They do come out on top, however, and they're going to be up 1-0 in this series. So we are going to go to a short break, and but something we wanted to do today, and maybe throughout our coverage here, change the pace a little bit. We're going to go to a short break. We'll be back, though, maybe in a couple of minutes, because there's a lot of Dota happening right now. And we figured rather than just sitting on a break until the next game, we'll come back and we'll maybe take a look at the other games that were happening, some of the results, and kind of give you some more content rather than just sitting there. I mean, obviously there's other streams that you can watch, but why not? Why not talk more Dota? So couple minutes.
Hang out with us.
Exactly. You can hang out with us. We can kind of take a look at the other series going on between all the regions, really. There's just so much. But short break, quickly set that up, and then we'll be back with a panel segment, we'll call it, after just a couple of minutes here. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.